Good evening, welcome back to Western Mike. This is the first YouTube video in a minute. This is going to be a discussion about alcohol use, and if you're going to drink alcohol, my best version of alcohol consumption, or the most decent version of alcohol consumption. So for a while would drink in the bars, and for a while would drink at home. Sometimes maybe both, sometimes perhaps both in one evening. Now this is okay, but this also has some negative connotations. Drinking in public is always going to be a risk, no matter how cool you think you are. It's always going to be a risk. Heard from another YouTube video that nobody is their best when they're drunk. In a way, nobody's at their best when they're drinking, and it's certainly not in public. Public drinking, while it can be, quote, supervised, that's another factoid that have learned, it also can bring a lot of risk to it. The risks of drinking in public is that you may be already in such a relaxed and just rational state of mind that nobody really, at least at that moment, needs to worry about you. So, and then you get a little bit cocky, you get a little bit arrogant about it. What happens then? Also, if you drink in public, you're going to be constantly thinking about bars. When you get off of work, when you see that it is now finally nighttime, bars will constantly be on your mind. That's another thing I've seen. Drinking at home versus drinking in bars. Would say drinking at home is a lot easier to say no, because you could just drink something else and you're not going to constantly have that comparison in your mind. You're not going to constantly be wondering if what you're doing is quote unquote normal or not. Also, just the very nature that your home, unlike a bar, has, bars can have things that you can do that aren't just drinking. But bars are primarily centered around drinking. So if you do it in a setting where you have so many other things you could be doing, and you only do it in that setting, such as home, that could be a lot easier in the long run than drinking in a bar or drinking in public in general. Also, it's just not only the ability to say no a lot easier, and to not have to worry about peer pressure. Why would you do something around so many people, especially so many people who know you? That just seems to be, especially these days, such a bad idea. So drinking in public can really be an Achilles heel for a lot of drinkers out there. Drinking in public, I have had my experience with it. It is not a pleasant experience. Drinking at home is a little bit more pleasant. But drinking at home also has its drawbacks, namely keeping alcohol in the house. Now, not talking about keeping alcohol in the house for maybe, the weekend. I'm talking about keeping alcohol in the house for a long stretch of time, for an extensive period of time. This is when it starts to become a hobby. This is when it starts to become a pastime. And it can be a distracting pastime. Because just like with walking past bars, going past bars, you like the people there, you just don't like the activity. You're going to then be constantly be contemplating alcohol the moment you get back into your house. So here's what I've found is perhaps the best solution. Don't drink at the bar. You don't have to drink at the bar. You could just have something NA, and anybody gives you a hard time. Well, that they can tell them to take a hike. Tell them to take a hike because you don't want to binge drink. You want to be a responsible drinker who doesn't party late in the evening. So, at least certainly not every single weekend anyway. You can do that. And then if you want any alcohol, you could just ask to take it to go, and you could have it in your house. But just do that for the one night that you're doing it. You could come back, you could chill out, and you did not have one episode with any of your fellow patrons, and certainly not any of your peers for the entire night. And that was good. And that was also because you only got a sober drink, and then you couldn't wait to bring your drinks back home, or you could do it with privacy, away from peer pressure. And even potentially even saving money in the long run too. You just had a good night. So this is my take on how people may best fare from alcohol consumption. You do not have to make a sport of frequenting the bars, at least not to drink. You don't really have to do that in the first place, but that's always a reality. That's always a harsh reality of going to bars, especially, on a frequent basis. You don't have to go to bars on a frequent basis in order to drink alcohol. You don't have to constantly have alcohol lying around the house. You could perhaps just bring alcohol back from, one of your favorite bars for one night and chill out with it, relax with it, accept that in its state, and then just throw out the bottle. Just throw out the bottle. That is all you have to do. You don't have to order anything from online. You don't have to obliterate the remainder of your evening. You don't have to worry about seeing alcohol in your fridge the next day. It's just the benefits of this are endless. Just you should not even be thinking about this stuff for, probably 6 out of 7 days of the week anyway. Even though perhaps probably most of those days you probably could have one or two and you'd be okay. But drinking at home is going to be a much safer thing to do than drinking in bars. And what's even safer than drinking at home is drinking at home, but not keeping any alcohol that you don't finish. Just throw it out. Just throw it out. So thanks, guys. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Wonder what your thoughts are about that little tidbit there that just came up with recently. Leave a comment, subscribe if you dare, and appreciate you. And as always, let's make it a good one and talk to you soon. Thanks.